And with us right now, we've got Amy Airom. Amy,
Hello.
you are the founder of Capitalize Social Media. It's kind of funny because you and I now in the, kind of the marketing-ish world, we both have a interesting similar background in that in our former lives we were big-time couponers and had thriving couponing businesses during the heyday of couponing. So first off, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. It's so exciting.
Yeah. And during this conversation, I want to talk about, where we are with social media and, in our new post COVID-19 world, kind of maybe your predictions. And, you and I were both at Social Media Marketing World as well. And we already, there was writing on the wall for some things in social that people ought to be paying very close attention to. And now I look at, and you and I are probably both seeing the evidence of the world kind of fast forwarding quite a bit, just simply because of, some themes that we saw over and over again. But I'll let you kind of lead on that because you're the social media expert. So Amy, would you mind maybe just kind of sharing just a little bit about your journey and how you got to your position within the social media marketing industry?
Yeah, definitely. It's really neat how we have this common bond of starting our career or our path in entrepreneurship in the coupon world because, when I quit my 14-year career at Verizon Wireless back in 2014 now, I was wanting to be a stay-at-home mom, and that's just what I decided I wanted to do. And after 6 months, I said, oh, goodness, I think I want to do a little more than this, but I'm not sure what. But I was really good at couponing and really good at finding deals. And my husband luckily knows about how to set up websites and emails and all that kind of thing. He brought that together for me and I was able to start couponingworks.com. So that is how I started. And that kind of propelled me into social media because once you get a blog and, an email list going, you got to get people to go there. And that's where I picked up my knowledge in Facebook and Instagram. So I'm an extrovert, I'm very social. So it was like this perfect opportunity for me to connect with people there and also to help them learn how to save money through using coupons and deals and all that kind of stuff. So that's how I got my start.
So at what point then did you say, well, okay, the couponing world's been kind of fun, but it's time to move on? Like, what was that transition?
Definitely. The transition for me was, really digging in to find out what I enjoyed. And that is where I wanted to see like a long-term business for me. And for me, like sitting and blogging all day, like that was what was necessary to keep my website going and things like that. That wasn't like my area of expertise and it wasn't really what I enjoyed. What I enjoyed was this social media thing and being on Facebook and Instagram and connecting with all these people and having these conversations. And I was really drawn to that. So once I figured out how to really build my audience there, I go, oh, wait a second, it's hard to do both, but it's also, this is something, the social media is a lot more fun. So I just dug into that and spent my time, researching the different things that are always changing in social media, specifically with Facebook and Instagram, and just going that direction with it.
Yeah. And so today, can you tell me a little bit about Capitalize Social Media, what you do, who you work with?
Yeah, definitely. So Capitalize Social Media started as any business where I think I was wanting to help everybody. And with social media, you can help everybody. But when it comes down to it, there are so many people in this space and people wanting to help that it's really necessary, I think, in any business, just talking to any entrepreneur out there, is that it's really important to figure out who you serve, where your niche is. And so after a year and a half or so, I really started getting steady legs in this industry and figuring out which direction I wanted to go and who I wanted to serve. When it comes down to social media, it was what content do I want to see all the time? And that's what I'd be working with the most and what entrepreneurs I want to work with the most. And that is, I guess I kind of created my own niche when it comes down to it. I really enjoy the life and business coach industry, specifically, personal development and business coaching. So kind of got two areas there that are similar but different. And that's who I serve. So I help these life and business coaches gain visibility and increase their impact using Facebook and Instagram marketing tactics that I develop for them, and then I help them manage as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, inherent in being a life and development coach, you don't necessarily know how to run your own social. So here's where Amy comes in and kind of saves the day. And here's the thing too. I think that you can hear and read and watch a lot of videos on good ideas. But one thing that I think you and I both understand is social moves really quick. And, if you're doing strategies that were effective 3 years ago because you found a YouTube video about it, that may not be the best place for you to focus your time and energy.
Right. And that's what it comes down to also when you're thinking about, you're an entrepreneur and you have all these things to do and then you go, oh gosh, now I need to be on social. Like you're just opening a huge can of worms. There's just so much going on. Like you said, it just changes constantly. Partnering with someone that can really guide you through that process where it's, efficient, where you don't have to spend so much time on it and you're getting the results and being able to focus on your business and what, my clients really like to work with their own coaching clients. That's really their expertise. So let me take on that part of it, guide you through it, save you the time, and then allow you to focus on what you really want to focus on. So it's really fun.
Yeah. What do you see most people kind of coming in to working with you? Where are most people making some errors or kind of maybe not using their time most effectively?
Definitely trying to figure out what to post, I think is the most common problem and people go up against. So they're like, I can't figure out what I want to post. I'm just not going to post anything. Or I'm just going to post everything and hopefully something sticks. What I've developed over time is the KARTRA method, which is 4 simple types of content to guide your social media strategy that you can really use in any platform, in any genre, really, in any industry that will help you guide that. So if you want, I could share that with you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so the KARTRA method is 4 different types of content. First thing is connecting. So sharing that connection, that type of personal content that really helps you, like you said, connect with your audience, get to know you a little bit to whatever level that you decide. You don't have to share too much, just depending on what you feel comfortable with. A is for authority. So sharing, content and achievements that you have to really express your expertise and why you're an expert in your industry. R is resources. So not only you want to be, R is to be a resource, I should say, to be a resource for your audience. So knowing who your ideal client is and connecting with them in all different areas of their life, really getting to know them and really sharing the content that's important to them, not just about you and your business, but other things that impact them and being that resource that they really want to go to. And then the E is for engaging content. So it could be inspirational, it could be entertaining, anything that really aligns with your ideal client. In that case, those are the 4 types of content that I say that just simplifies your social media strategy and really just hopefully puts you to where you don't do anything or you don't do everything. It's just the 4 types. You can do that in all sorts of mediums on all different platforms.
Yeah. Do you see many people who, when you start looking at their social, you're like, all you're doing is just promoting stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And that's, I think, the marketers among us spend too much time doing that. I think where I have really fallen back to is to say, you know what, for me, I'm going to try and do everything that I'm doing needs to be about moving the relationship forward. So I just don't do a lot of selling on social. I mean, very, very, very little. I mean, only if it's something like really special, and email as well. Like that's my approach for email. And again, I think a lot of people use email just for selling. And then I think people just kind of zone it out. Like there's never any value here. I'm not even gonna look because he's just gonna try and sell me something. Again, email, I use that and it's just like all about the relationship build. And I just trust that, people are smart and they'll figure it out. If I do want to promote something, be very careful about it and just tell story about it. And instead of, share behind the scenes, tell stories about it, maybe share a win that one of our clients had. What's your opinion on all of that?
That's a really good point. And back to what we had talked about, like the theme of social media marketing world is really storytelling in all aspects and video especially, but people cannot connect with with brands. Like, you know, there's a company out there and you can't connect with a company. You connect with stories, you connect with people, and that's where storytelling is really important. So I definitely, you know, talk to my clients about their strategies and just making sure they bring story into that, because that is what allows people to connect with, whether it be like the testimonials or behind the scenes activity and things like that. There is all sorts of different ways you can do it, but storytelling is key in marketing right now to connect with your audience.
You know, one thing that I had written down, and I forget who said it, it may have been Mark Schaefer, who I'm a huge fan of, but awesome. I think he or someone else said, people don't connect with companies, they don't connect with products, they don't connect with services, people connect with people. Matter of fact, that was so good that I just redid my intro video for our front page, and I completely stole that line.
It's awesome. Mark Schaefer is so quotable. Yeah.
You know, especially now, Amy. So what is your observation of what's been going on in social? So we're recording this toward the beginning of April. So obviously we don't have crystal ball to see, you know, what's going on over the next 30 days. But I think we've seen some really interesting things over the past couple of weeks that are giving us some indications, plus, you know, trends that we've already known about, and we've already been talking about this in this conversation. But how do you see the global pandemic as impacting marketing on social?
Definitely, that's a really good question. It's definitely hard to have that crystal ball to find out where it's going to be, and I'm always trying to think, you know, one step ahead. But what I see that it's doing, and there's two things that are happening. Either their companies and businesses are on social and they're kind of shying away because they're not sure what to expect and they don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. Or they're going full force and they're going on video and they're just going to town on it like they probably should have before, but now they're realizing like this is where people are. So it's going to bring a lot of change in the industry, I think, because it's kind of, again, something that's hard to predict. But what I see is that it's really an opportunity for businesses that might have shied away before to come forward and to connect with their audiences and just bring a whole other aspect of connection and community within their business. And, you know, with those ones that are kind of shying away, I just hope that they come back and realize that, you know, this is where we should be and this is where we can be right now. Let's take advantage of it and develop strategies that are going to help us after this is over.
Yeah. So if you are let's say you're a life coach, or and so forgive me, so you work with a lot of coaches, consultants,
right?
And so, what would be your biggest advice to that group, that population right now, in terms of where their minds should be in terms of marketing, and particularly marketing on social?
Definitely find out where your ideal client is, understand, you know, who they are, get them to know them really well, have that avatar of that ideal client, figure out what social media platform best fits them or where they're going to be found, and then go towards that social media platform and just understand it and learn as much as you can about it. And then get real comfortable with video. If you're not comfortable with video, get comfortable. 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, this would not have happened. I was deathly afraid of being on camera, being on video. And I developed skills and just practiced and just did it over and over again to where I got comfortable. And it's just about jumping in there and just doing it and getting that comfort level, because having video is that's your edge. That's your ability to differentiate yourself from other life coaches out there, to be able to really show your expertise and connect with them, and just easily building that relationship through social.
Yeah. Amy, what do you spend your time on? How did you grow? Because I think there are a lot of consultants out there, a lot of people that can help with social media, because I think there are a lot of people that they don't have any idea what they're doing right now. So I think that you know, social media marketing, I think, is something that you can study and practice yourself, learn a lot of things, and I think you can help a lot of good people. But with your, with your agency, or with your services, you keep really busy. What's your secret? How have you been able to grow your practice beyond what many other people have?
That's a really good question, and that's something that has actually been pointed out to me a couple years ago that I really didn't think of, that as I've been using my expertise, like when I thought about starting my business, I didn't really think like how my expertise in my past career could really translate to what I'm doing now. But as I've gone on, I've realized that I have extensive relationship building and management skills through my career at Verizon Wireless that I'm using that now to grow my business and building teams. So I've really, over the course of the last 6 years, but with this business for 3 years, I've been working 20 hours a week, and that's as much as I can handle. And because I'm raising my 6-year-old, he's now 6, and that's all I can handle. So I have strict guidelines around like the time, the schedule that I build to be able to grow my business, which then also allows me, and out of necessity, to hire contractors and teams of people to help me. So that's how I've been able to grow, is having that guideline around like where my boundaries are, and then being able to use my skills from before to build my team, to bring on contractors and soon to be employees, and then have that be where my foundation is growing that team to scale my business, because that's what I love the most.
Right. Oh my gosh, for sure. If we get caught in that, and it's wonderful if someone wants to be a freelancer and that's where they want to stop. That's wonderful. But if your goal is to have a larger and larger impact, help more and more people, you can only do so much. And I agree. I'm a huge fan of empowering other people, creating opportunities, not just for myself, but for a team of people, so that collectively we can have that impact. What do you do to attract new business?
I do, well, in the beginning, I was doing a lot of networking. So I was doing not a lot, but a good amount of networking and in-person relationship building. And that drew my core group of clients that was just like a referral machine for me. So I have just been getting referrals to the point where I had to kind of slow down my business for a while and really get my sea legs to where I could have some, building my internal business basically for it to be streamlined and more efficient. Yeah. And as I've been working on that has helped me grow more. And now I'm getting more into, of course, now we all are, but more into digging into relationship building online, of course, and attracting. I have my Facebook Live show, Coaches Go Social, twice a month. So of course on Facebook, that I bring on coaches that will share their expertise, kind of like what you're doing. So bringing that into a visibility of all different types of audiences, and that's that through, and my relationship building through my referrals is what I continue to do.
Yeah, excellent. Well, Amy, for those who have been listening to our conversation and like, I like this. I like Amy. She sounds pretty smart, and I think she can help me. What would be a great way for people to begin that engagement with you? You've got some great blog articles, by the way, and of course you've got some other great content on your website as well. Where do we start?
Oh, good. Well, yeah, definitely. My website, I'm building a blog post and value there at capitalizesocialmedia.com. But to connect with me, definitely on Facebook. My business page is Capitalize Social Media. And then Amy Airom, you can find me and send me a friend request. I'd love to chat with you.
That's excellent. Excellent. Well, Amy Airom, your website again is capitalizesocialmedia.com. You got a lot. Click on resource. Here's what I'd recommend. Click on resources. You've got some great articles. You got some great conversations. A lot to dig in. What I like about you is you really truly serve and advocate for your audience very, very well. And you've got a lot of great content that I think would be really helpful for coaches. So, Amy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity. It was great to see you again, too.
Yeah, for sure.